Where did it all go wrong? First, president, it's just as him as a president, but I don't see Biden as a president, not my president. However, Donald Trump, I think he had the most vote in history, okay, and was the most popular American president ever, to my knowledge. But where did it all go wrong? Firstly, it's a Christian channel, so I want to, get that out of the way, if I may. The idea that Donald Trump was God's anointed, that I do not accept. The idea that he was God's man and he was going to somehow, deal with Israel in accord to biblical prophecy, I also reject that also. I think it was a gimmick. That's what it was. The church were offered tax breaks, and that's the reason why they endorsed him. It was purely profitable. In fact, Donald Trump even called the church hustlers. He's referring to Creflo Dollar. He said they were hustlers and they were thieves. In other words, he must have seen what they do behind the scene. He went to hotels with them, etc., having business meetings, so he knows what they're like. Okay? In that kind of world, people are going to show you their true colors, that they don't show the likes of me and you. Okay? So, Donald Trump called Creflo Dollar a hustler. However, in fact, I made a couple of videos on that. However, I do not see Donald Trump as God's anointed, God's savior, Jesus on this hand and Donald Trump on that. No, that was a gimmick. No, however, what I will say is this. I've been following Donald Trump for a while. He's never led us into any wars. This man was not a part of the establishment. Believe it or not, I've been following this guy. The problem with Donald Trump, he was too honest. Too honest. As a Christian, America is safer with someone like Donald Trump as president. And I will tell you why. Ever since Biden and the liberals has got into power, if you look at the trans agenda, if you look at how wokeism has gone crazy, American Britain is crushing under the weight, the intensity of this woke ideology. And it will destroy American Britain. God will destroy America and Britain through the woke ideology. If you look at biblical history, how God destroys his enemy, he does it through politics. And the wokeism as an ideology, it will destroy American Britain in the long run. I put in the picture the lion, Satan comes as a roaring lion, which is mentioned in 2 Peter. The liberals do not want Donald Trump to run for president in 2024 because we're sick and tired of this wokeism. We're sick and tired of this hypersensitive age where people are offended over anything. You can't even have a rational conversation on anything. You can't even disagree, or you lose your job. Somebody will call you a sexist, a racist, transphobic, homophobic. And the world is becoming so mistrustful. Nobody trusts anyone anymore. And the reason being, the liberals are and the hardcore leftists are pushing this paranoia to such degree there's more hate in the world now than there is love. They're trying to change the laws to change people's mindset. It does the opposite. Human nature is human nature. You can't control human nature. You can't regulate human nature. It will backfire. However, back to Donald Trump. I'm sidetracking a bit. The liberals had it in for Donald Trump from day one. From day one, they were trying to impeach him on something. And now we've got something. They're celebrating one woman. I can't remember what her name was, but Donald Trump was saying how she promised that with her and her family would take him down. That to me sounds like a conflict of interest. That to me sounds like somebody who has an axe to grind. They called him all the names under the sun. This is, all of a sudden he's a racist, etc. He's a racist. Donald Trump has done more for African Americans than Democrats. But they brainwash you and poison you unless you're going to think along the lines of this woke liberal agenda that you can't think for yourself. Donald Trump has done more for African Americans. And even in his past, before African Americans even voted for Republicans, he still was with black people. But no, suddenly when he decided to run to become a president, suddenly overnight, the liberals decided to use the race card against him. And this is how the liberals control the world. You're the homophobic, transphobic, sexist, you're a racist. This is how they divide people. This is how they divide people. They cook it in your face, push it into you until the sinking Titanic can no longer hold on the water. It just falls. They had it in for Donald Trump. I've been following this guy for a while. We would never have gone to war, between Russia and Ukraine. That would never have happened. Now they talk about Third World War. Donald Trump, they say he's this and he's that. That guy's never taken us into any wars. Now, what does that tell you? A good president is one that keeps the country in peace. A good president is one that don't take you into wars. Obama did. Obama took it into wars, and so did Biden. And if Kamala Harris becomes president, she'll be worse. And that's the reason why they don't like Donald Trump, because he's not a warmonger. They want warmongers because war makes money. War is profitable. And Donald Trump does not think in that mindset. There's a lot of things Donald Trump has said, truthful things, and it's come to pass. It's come to pass. Donald Trump says, something, if we don't watch this space, we're going to end up in a third world war. Because Democrats, the liberals, will bring us into a third world war. As I said, he wasn't God's anointed. He wasn't God's man. That was a gimmick. However, he would have been the best president ever. Your Christian faith would have been protected. This guy also, because he's not homophobic, he's not transphobic, but he's not crazy about it either. You could continue practicing your faith and your beliefs without finding yourself in prison. And that's why Donald Trump would make a better president. That's why they want to take him out. That's the reason why they had it in for him from day one. The devil comes as a roaring lion because the church would be safer under Donald Trump. Look at England. England hasn't got a Christian leader. and Christians find themselves locked up, losing their jobs over the trans agenda. You can see why they don't want, well, England, they're conservatives. They don't differ to liberals, right? But in America, you can see why they don't want someone like Donald Trump to be president. You can see why. I don't know how, but anyhow he gets out of this and he becomes president 2024, I'll be making pure positive videos about that guy. That, you know, he's not perfect. As I said, he's not God's anointed. He's not God's anointed. He's not God's man. But you know something? He's the best we've got. The best we've got. I followed his videos. And this guy, he will make America great again.